Hello, everyone. This is Nathan Marchand, and a merry early Christmas for you, which is appropriate for what I'm going to be talking about today. My apologies. I did not get this out to Eric as soon as he wanted it to. I've been very busy this week. As you can tell, I'm not in my normal location. I'm actually out in Tennessee meeting some of my podcast friends. We've been having a little bit of a retreat here. This is a gorgeous old house and everything, and it's a book lover's dream. Every room in this house is just filled with books, a lot of it classic literature, which is very appropriate for the excerpt from 42 Discovering Faith Through Fandom that I am going to be reading. This is one of mine, and it's a different sort of geeky thing. It's classic literature, but it's one that has been immortalized through pop culture. And whether you're a geek, a nerd, or whatever, you know about this story because it is, I would say, is one of the quintessential Christmas stories of, well, all time, that being A Christmas Carol. It's been adapted many times. My personal favorites in terms of movie adaptations are obviously the Muppet version, but my absolute favorite is the one starring Patrick Stewart, aka Professor X, and Jean-Luc Picard, among other things. When Jean, not Jean-Luc Picard, but Patrick Stewart is at his most natural when in classical literary adaptations, particularly Shakespeare, if he's not in Star Trek. But all of that aside, I'm going to now read from the original 42, day 38, if you want to follow along. It's called Let Them Laugh. The verse of the day for this one is, "But do this with gentleness and respect, keeping a clear conscience, so that those who speak maliciously against your good behavior in Christ may be ashamed of their slander." 1 Peter 3:16b to 17. In A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, Ebenezer Scrooge was a man who, as the Muppets sang it, if they gave awards for being mean, the winner would be him. He was a dingy, greedy old man steeped in bitterness. He wouldn't even, let me see, I lost my place. He wouldn't even let his clerk, Bob Cratchit, burn some coal in the cold winter because he didn't want to have to buy more. Of course, we all know the story of what happened that fateful Christmas Eve. He was visited by the spirits of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future, who showed him the error of his ways, and he swore to reform. No sooner did he awake from his sleep on Christmas Day than he began his new life. He gave money to charity, bought a prize turkey for the Cratchits, attended his long-suffering nephew's dinner, and gave Bob Cratchit a raise. But such a sudden transformation was unbelievable to many. As the book closed, Dickens wrote, "Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing had ever happened on this globe for good at which some people did not have their full laughter in the outset. And knowing that such as these would have and knowing that such as these would be blind anyway, he thought it quite as well that they would wrinkle their eyes in grins as the malady in less attractive forms. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. Despite your moral lifestyle, there will be some who will slander you. Perhaps it will be because of your morality. As I wrote before, it's the nature of evil to hate what is good. But as the Apostle Paul points out, Christians should live in such a way as it shames those slanderers. What good are the lies if they don't stick? People will see the slanderers for the villains they are. Perhaps the slanderers will not only be silenced, but come to a saving faith because of themselves once they see the authenticity of your faith. St. Francis of Assisi said, "Preach the gospel, and if necessary, use words." Perhaps nowadays he would agree with the saying, "Actions speak louder than words." We must practice what we preach. Then people will see we are genuine, and that will point them to Jesus. So, always treat everyone, even your naysayers, with the utmost respect. Call them out when you have to, but never stoop to their level. If they don't relent, do what Scrooge did. Let them laugh. They're only making fools of themselves. Quest of the day, if you're interested. Number 1, Jesus commands his followers to love their enemies. If someone is slandering you because of your faith, repay them by doing something kind for them at least once this week. That's a hard one. Number two, pray for the strength to continue doing good despite the outside pressure. All right. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, Eric, for asking me to do this. It was tremendous fun, and I hope, despite the delay in getting this video made, it all was to your liking. And thank you once again, everyone, for buying these books, reading these books, and helping Eric and I with the work that he is doing for Nerd Chapel. Merry Christmas.